Lantern! Pick on someone your own size!
Hey everybody, it's Marshall Mc here. This is giving my Gotham Season 3 Episode 12 review. Gotham is back, and I am excited to start reviewing the series once again. Now, we do have a lot to catch up on because Jerome is coming back next week. We got to tease him this week at the end of the episode, which we'll talk about in a second. But there was a lot to talk about this episode, and I had a lot of mixed feelings about it because I did like the episode, but it was much more of a filler episode, filling up till we get to the bigger arcs. Also, there were some choices made in this episode I think will bite them in the butt later on. So let's talk about it. So I did like how Jim had returned, very grim. He was at the funeral, of course. Which I thought was really awkward, that Falcone saw him and Harvey at the funeral, which was really sad. Lee, I didn't even think that was Miranda Bachman. I thought that was like some kind of old lady or something just crying, but I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense that was Lee, because, you know, her husband and all. And we'll talk about Lee later on, because I think I have a huge thing to talk about Lee, but I like how, Falcone had Lee call the hit on Gordon, which I thought was really intense, and again, we'll talk about that later. But they end up going after this case, after this guy, which I don't know who this is. I don't think they explained it fully in the episode, which they should have, because that would have made much more sense. But this guy here is connected to Jerome, and he is bringing Jerome back, which didn't make sense to me. They didn't really explain it as well in the episode. Like, I hope they explain how they got Jerome's body, what the plan is. Did they, like, I know they explained Indian Hill and all that and where he worked and all that, but they didn't explain how they got, like, the body, how everything's happening. Like, it was just really rushed, and I feel like, again, I feel like it was a filler episode to get to the Joker, to get to Jerome next week. So I hope that they do go back and explain more of it, because we didn't get as much as I'd hoped in this episode. So that was one thing that I had to say about the episode that wasn't as well as everything else. I do like how Harvey has taken over as captain still. That's great that we haven't got a new captain yet. And I hope we don't get one. I hope Harvey does kind of stay captain for the rest of the season at least. Just because I think he's doing a good job. I loved the scene where Lee totally just walked in the GCPD and was like, Bullock, arrest Gordon. What do you think was going to happen to Lee? So here's what I have to say about this. Miranda Bachman, I love Miranda Bachman so much. But the problem with this is that Lee got so dark and so vengeful in the beginning of the episode, and by the end of the episode, she was all like, meh, you know, let's not call it on it. I still like Gordon. I still love him. Or at least that's what her face said. And the thing about that is, I wanted to see Miranda Bachman go dark with Lee, because they're, you know, Ben McKenzie, who plays Gordon, and Lee are actually, I think, married by this time. They have a kid on the way, I think, or, no, they already had their baby. So they're in a relationship outside of the show, so I would have loved to see her go dark, yet they didn't take her there. And then they kind of retracted that statement by the end of the episode. It was like, what? Now, we did get a little bit of Barnes this episode as well, which is how Lee put the pieces together. But even though she saw Barnes as crazy as he was, it's still her husband. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out with her feelings for Gordon in the next few episodes. Now, I love this storyline. I love how Nygma and Barbara ended up putting together this whole scheme with Clayface about seeing Pee-wee Herman. No, about seeing Penguin's father. I loved that. I thought that was really weird, because I thought it was actually like a real ghost, because this is the DC universe. Anything can happen. I like how Harvey in the episode even said, do people even stay dead in Gotham anymore? So it was really cool to see that happen, to kind of see, like, them make this plan with Clayface, because I didn't even expect it to be Clayface. And then the actor who plays Clayface actually quoted my tweet and said, boo. And I was like, I couldn't see that coming. I didn't see it coming at all. So I thought that was really interesting too. But I think that I like where Barbara's going with Nygma, and I do like the pair up. I didn't think I would, but I like the team up between them. And I think that going up against Penguin with both of those two, it's really interesting, because if we have the Riddler, he kind of fills in for Jerome at this point. And I wonder if Barbara's going to go back to Jerome after he's brought back from the dead. Who knows? Maybe they'll team up again. But, because obviously Barbara is Harley Quinn. At least at this point. She's not really Harley, but, you know. I call her Barbara Quinn. That's really what we're getting for Harley right now. But again, really nice storyline with Penguin, and I want to see how far they take his suffering. I want to see how far Nygma can go with his schemes. Now, Bruce had a really interesting storyline, and I loved how they kind of teased us with this owl. So when the owl is hit with direct sunlight, it shows some kind of map or some kind of blueprints or plans or whatever it is you want to call it from the court. The court are planning something huge, and we're going to have to wait and see what it is by the end of the finale, from the season. But I really do think that it's something to do with some kind of plot to further on the story for the next villain for season 4. That's what I'm going to say is something leading into something bigger, but I don't know for sure, but that's my guess. And I do like how Selina kind of folded into the Waynes, as always, I guess Wayne with Bruce, because his parents are dead. But anyway, I love that Selina's mom, I love that they were able to make up by the end of the episode, but I thought it was also kind of rushed. I thought they could have made that over a span of episodes, because I don't think she would have forgave her mother that easily. I don't know, it's just, we've seen kind of shows with those relationships before, where the child takes a while to kind of forgive their parent for leaving them, so I thought that was kind of rushed, but I'm excited to see where they take that whole who is that guy at the end of the episode thing with Selina's mom, because I was confused by that too. Like, again, it was really rushed, so I feel like they could have gone a span of episodes with each arc, but instead they ended up kind of like shuffling it for this episode. I don't know. Again, it was a filler episode. I understand why. We have to make room for Jerome next week. But yeah. But what did you guys think of the episode? Because again, I thought it was really interesting to see, Lee in this dark place and then end up not being in that dark place anymore, towards Gordon. Zaz was even featured in the episode, and he didn't even get to kill. Like, it was, most of the episode was even fight scenes between Gordon and Zaz, and yet it kind of had no payoff. So what do you guys think about that, and what did you guys think of the episode overall as a whole? What was your favorite storyline from this week, and what are you looking forward to next week? Jerome. Thank you guys for watching so much. More Gotham videos up there in the playlists, and links down there to my social media, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.